Hi there to you all viewers of Equinoxe Television. It's time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin right away with our major stories. Babies are also very vulnerable to sight disorders. Today has been commemorated as a World Sight Day, and ophthalmologists will be telling you more on how to cater for your eyes. And after Bafusam in the west region of the country, domestic or cooking gas is said to be very scarce in the Mongo division, precisely in Kongsamba, and people have resorted to using charcoal, which is said to be very expensive. Our reporters will be telling you more in this newscast, so stay with us. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for being with us. To begin this newscast in health, we told you in the headlines that babies are also very vulnerable, just like adults and also youth, to sight disorders. Ophthalmologists say people should always check their eyes at least, or their vision at least once in 3 months. Our reporter Lucy Asia spoke with some ophthalmologists today here in Douala in the commemoration of the World Sight Day, and she now tells us more about caring for our eyes. In this report.
Of the eye disease are a wide variety of eye conditions that affects the vision. Statistics have proven that 250,000 of people in Cameroon suffer from blindness and 600,000 from vision loss. Ophthalmologists say there are several types of visual disorder.
Refractive errors are problems with the optical system of the eye. You know, the eye is like a camera, and it is capturing pictures of the environment and sending them to the brain for interpretation. So when the optical system of the eye is not well developed or it's damaged, it causes refractive error, among which we have presbyopia, we have myopia, astigmatism, and hyperopia.
Nowadays, babies, youth, adults suffer from eye disease. Dr. Jane Mayogo Enyama, an ophthalmologist, says there are reasons for this.
The main causes of eye problem are diverse as the eye problems too. It can come from genetic, it can come from infections, it can come from traumas. For example, cataract, for the example of cataract, there is cataract due to age. That is the most frequent form of cataract. It is due to age. But there's also cataract due to eye trauma or due to the use of inappropriate use of some eye drops, or related to diabetes or to some body conditions. We also have cataract in newborn babies, congenital cataracts. So the causes of eye diseases are many.
Medics advise the early intervention of eye disorder when people have these symptoms.
Pain, you have red eyes, you have itchy eyes, and you have decreased vision.
The condition of abnormal functioning of the organ sight. Eye specialists say there are different ways in which we can protect our eyes.
If you eat vegetables, a lot of vitamin A, C, and E products, containing products, zinc, or good cholesterol, you will have nutriment, your body will have nutriment, protect your eye tissues from aging.
The 22nd edition of the World Sight Day has a theme, Love Your Eye.
And now we talk economy. Cameroon business persons have been promised greater business opportunities and a large market within the Commonwealth. The opportunities of the Commonwealth were presented by visiting Lord Jonathan Peter Morland, head of the Commonwealth Enterprises and Investment Council in Douala. A reporter for me, Armstrong Sandra, has more.
From the Maritime Museum to the Douala Seaport, the Cameroon Employers Association (GICAM), Sindostricam, the Cameroon Chamber of Commerce, and to the Cameroon National Shippers Council in Dibombari, the message of Lord Jonathan Peter Morland was the same: create a common world for Commonwealth businesses.
The word really is commerce. How do we develop commerce between Cameroonian businesses and Commonwealth businesses? And that's what we have been exploring, and that's what we'll explore further in the future.
A message and mission qualified as timely by Cameroonian economic operators.
Because it puts a focus on Cameroon and destination Cameroon as a potential market for investment.
Considering the strategic role of the transport system in international trade, Lord Jonathan Peter Mallon visited the container terminal of the Douala Seaport and the Douala Port Security, where he was briefed on the automated and improved management facilities. From the seaport, the head of the Commonwealth Enterprises and Investment Council made a tour of the road transport facilitation infrastructures raised by the Cameroon National Shippers Council in Dibombari.
It was very important for us to show to the President of Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council what we do concretely. You know, people don't know exactly what Cameroon National Shippers Council do. We are the first member of the CIEC in Cameroon.
The Commonwealth Enterprises and Investment Council intends to boost opportunities for Cameroonian businessmen and women, but insists that the government of Cameroon sits up in other aspects.
It's important that the government creates an ecosystem which helps the small, medium-sized enterprises.
The Commonwealth market cuts across 65 countries from all the continents of the world, with our population estimated at over 2.5 billion.
And domestic gas is gradually getting scarce across the national territory. In our last newscast, we told you that cooking gas was very scarce in the West Regional Headquarters of Bafoussam. And the report which comes up next, Immaculate Fogwe, takes us to Nkongsamba in the Mongo Division, where people complain that domestic gas there is very scarce. They are resorting to using charcoal which is also very expensive. Let's now have more in this report.
From one domestic gas supplier to another, Kati has visited over 30 retailers in Nkongsamba, Mongo Division, yet she is not in possession of what she needs to put food on the table. She has covered several kilometers in the quest for domestic gas. I went to town yesterday in search of gas, but I could not find any. I had to use sawdust stove to prepare my children's breakfast before they could go to school. It is very difficult. When using gas, it's faster. Empty gas bottles ready to be refilled, packed in sales points. One of the major gas suppliers in the town of Nkongsamba explains that only one brand is available at the moment and in very limited quantity. The fact that households don't have the brand's bottle makes it difficult to help.
Depuis environ une semaine, nous n'avons pas de gaz.
For a week now, we don't have gas. Several persons have come to my store in search of gas, but I don't have. The only brand which is available, they don't have the bottle. Limited supply has been blamed on the inability of gas production companies to meet the ever-increasing demands of the population.
And now we take you to the northern part of the country. Several houses and markets have been washed away by floods in the Mayo Danai division of the far north region. Part of the population is being forced to move away or migrate to neighboring localities. Our reporter Innocent Azet tells us that those who have stayed behind have decided to deal with the floods.
The destruction of houses and markets in the Mayo Danai division of the North region was provoked by floods from heavy rainfall that caused water to overflow the Logon dike.
Si c'était la nuit même, c'est fini avec nous, mais c'était le jour.
Over 300 persons were rendered homeless and has to be kept in camps.
Ça ne va pas.
All is not well. This flood is recurrent. Every year, people are forced to migrate from here to other places as if they were refugees. As a result, women are left behind to do everything, pay school fees, feed the children, and so on. Government should kindly come to our aid and enhance development in our division.
En sorte qu'il y ait le développement dans notre département.
Circulating from Daniwe to Yagua has been very cumbersome for over a month now. Some people make use of canoes to reach safer areas. while the governor of the Far North region put in place a team to monitor and control the situation. Other inhabitants who preferred not to migrate, on their part, mobilized to raise the Logon dike and to render it more resistant. These Cameroonians who reveal they have been abandoned to suffer say they are yet to understand the offenses they committed to warrant neglect from government authorities.
And the Ministry of Public Service is seeking ways of digitalizing files before recruitment. Minister Joseph Lay says graduates from teacher training colleges won't have to wait for several years before being integrated, as Glory Mala tells us in the report which comes up next.
Before now, graduates from the Higher Technical and Higher Teachers Training College had to wait for years to be integrated into the public service, a reality that made life frustrating for many. In order to simplify integration and recruitment, the Public Service and the Administrative Reform Minister Joseph Lee personally came to the Littoral Regional Delegation of his ministry to launch the practical phase of the new procedure for the integration of teachers into the public service.
An example, a concrete example, a file of a young man coming from Enset Douala will no more need to wait until 30 months before the job started at Minfopra, because now the file will go straight from Enset Douala to our regional delegation here, and you have noticed it will be digitized, and immediately we receive it in the central services in Yaoundé, and we can start the process of integration.
The event that took place in Douala focused on the digitization of the treatment of files, a process which the minister assures the population that equipment are ready for a positive result.
Let me assure you that all our 10 regional delegations are already equipped and they are able to do the same job. One file can be digitized in less than 1 minute, as you have noticed, which means that even if we receive 1,000 files, we can digitize all of them in 1 or 2 days.
An initiative highly welcome by the actors of the sector. The new methods of rapidly handling files will be extended to other services to facilitate the recruitment. Meantime, these graduates hope these changes will make life better for them.
Thank you, Glory, for that report. Now we take you viewers out of Cameroon, where a French institute in Burkina Faso's capital has been set ablaze by an angry population, and the inferno is affecting the activities of artists in Burkina Faso. They say most of their activities have been taken forward. Let's now have more with our partners of African News.
The desolate remains of the French Institute in Ouagadougou vandalized during demonstrations against the coup in Burkina Faso. Staff and artists at the institute have since been reacting to the destruction of the cultural complex. There is a lot missing because I have seen, for example, appliances that have been burnt. Outside you can see there are consoles they took and burnt them. There are instruments that they burnt as well. Smashed doors, broken windows, scattered computers and books. An unbelievably desolate scene for artists familiar with this place. This is a great loss for us Burkinabe artists with the French Institute in Bobo and Ouagadougou, because all our projects that were planned, that were supposed to take place at the French Institute, you can see that it will no longer be possible for the moment. Because with all the damage that has been done, it will take time for everything to be put in place so that we can continue. So this sets us back a bit. The French Institute is one of France's levers for the development of cooperation between network professionals, culture and education, as well as for the promotion of cultural and linguistic diversity. There are more Burkinabe working at the French Institute than Europeans. So for me, it is for Burkina Faso. It's for Burkina. So let's not confuse politics and culture. On October 1, French buildings, including the French embassy in Ouagadougou, were attacked by demonstrators who accused Paris of protecting Lieutenant Colonel Damiba, whose departure they demanded.
In sports, Union Sportive of Douala are finalizing training sessions ahead of the new football season to kick off this weekend. They say they are poised to be crowned champions after the football season. And our sportsman Smart Njikan Gabriel watched one of their training sessions and now tells us more in this report.
At the Camrai pitch in Serene Dogbad, players of Union Sportive of Douala intensified their training sessions ahead of the kickoff of the Elite One Championship this weekend. Under the watchful eyes of the technical bench headed by Coach Omaru Sogba, the attention is tilted towards the reaction of players when they lose a ball in the course of the game. I have seen players who are determined to play. Our training session is on two aspects: to see the reaction of players when they lost the ball and to train the players to be confident ahead of their game this weekend, since it's a regional derby.
Vous savez que c'est des matchs, un derby régional. Ça se joue souvent au niveau du mental.
Among the more than 30 players who trained, the newly recruited players are being watched very closely. Amongst them, Hashu Kerido, who just returned from Sanga Balende in Congo to play for Union Sportive of Douala this football season. It's a total calm that reigns within the team, particularly after we won the friendly match against Aigle of Chang. But we are not taken away by the victory as we focus on our league game. According to the Cameroonian international goalkeeper, even though he once played with their Saturday's opponent, he will give his all to his new employer. It's a club like any other one in the league. We have our own key points. It's true, I once played with them. It won't disturb. It's the start of the league. Let's see how it goes. The Elite One Championship starts this weekend with a littoral derby pitting Union Sportive to Les Astres of Douala at the Reunification Stadium.
And viewers, that was how we saw it on this edition of the news. Thank you so much for always being there. Don't go away. The next newscast comes up at exactly 8 p.m. with Nadine Yambu. Bye-bye for now and have a blessed evening in the company of our programs.